They say if we'll only avoid any confrontation with the enemy, he'll forget his evil ways.
Hi, and welcome to the Catch Digest, where you get your news, compilation, techniques, and updates. I'm not sure if I said that twice on Catch as Can Wrestling. Now, I first want to give out a big shout out to the channel BJJ Scout, Instagram also at BJJ Scout. They are a tremendous inspiration to this channel, and props to them. Thank you very much. I didn't even think of a new fucking name really to call this other than Digest, but Catch. So, yeah. I also like to thank our sponsors, Trojan. No, I'm just kidding. Don't sue me, please. That's not true. We'll get to the other side of that shirt later. So, I understand BJJ Scout is anonymous, and I understand his want for anonymity. Flame wars on the internet, outrage mobs, and the idea that, maybe a non-biased viewer for the speaker, like non-biased for the speaker, may help them. But this is my channel, Golden Ruffian. Fuck it. Welcome. I'm Arthur Fantastic, the hotshot. If you're not familiar with me, you should be now. So let me drop the theatrics. Let's get to what we're talking about and the point of this video. Catch Digest. Why now? Why now? Catch Digest. Let me tell you why. Leading up to the ADCC Championship, the holy grail of grappling, we see all the videos mostly done by Flow Grappling. Also, there was also a couple done by Stuart Cooper Films. You see them really working hard on one thing, and that's wrestling. And that's for a reason. Okay? Now, we'll go into that later on in the video. Somebody will really pretty much explain it crystal clear. I think it's Craig Jones. And let's move that to the side for a second. Now, what are we going to talk about? now, even while making this video, in the middle of making this video, Flow Grappling drops a cut of Felipe Pena, and I'm cutting up that video about the wrestling part, and they just do it for me. So you go watch that video after this video. I'm just gonna put a small clip of it that's kind of cool, but you'll get the gist of it. But in the middle, I was doing that, and then I was pretty much compiling all these videos they were doing and just taking out the wrestling parts, because every one of them was just like hitting on wrestling, and boom, that comes out. So, they see, I thought I was the only one seeing it. They see it. It seems like everybody sees it, saws it, sees it. And it's really important to me that I point it out as a wrestler, as wanting other wrestlers to know more about grappling. Thank you, Scott Rubox. Thank you, Rubox, for commenting on Facebook. I would like to say that it's very important that we come together and point this out, that it's important. There's a lot of things that go behind catch wrestling to go in about. Folk wrestlers don't even know in high school, or even freestyles, they don't know about catch as can wrestling, which they should. And that's why we're here. And that's the point of this. I think that a lot of the things, the evolutions, a lot of the progression in grappling today at the highest level of, and let me preface the next word by, is it really though? No gi. Is it really no gi? It's just grappling. We'll get into that in a second. we are breaking down old taboos that we were never, like, I'm older than you may think, and when I started training, like, leg locks, and still probably today in a lot of schools, leg locks, you're not allowed to do a leg lock. Everybody's scared of leg locks. Everybody, no one really wrestles. They start from the knees. As a wrestler, that was really weird for me, but I understood. We started wrestling when we were starting wrestling from these when we were brand new. And so I get that. But you know, at a certain point, you need to be training takedowns, and everybody knows that. Everybody, MMA fighters know, and pretty much the ADCC rules will be explained crystal clear why everybody is working their wrestling. But it's for an overall reason that Crane Jones also, I will credit him to saying these. I didn't say it. These top level grapplers, the guys that are running the fuck the world right now in the grappling world, they're saying it, not me. Not me. I've been saying it, but now I have, okay, look, boom, XYZ, they've all been saying that shit. And we know that, don't we? Now, and I think there's things to be said all over the place about the amateur wrestling world and even professional wrestling. But today, let's just stick to ADCC, which is going on right now and probably will drop as the second day starts of the ADCC World Championships. Let's talk about that, and let's talk about catch wrestling. Why now? Catch wrestling. Hashtag catch digest. At Arthur Fantastic on Instagram. I think that, for instance, let's watch the clip here of Nicky Ryan talking about his grappling and his wrestling. More importantly.
We've been focusing a lot more on wrestling. It's awful. I hate it. It's so much harder than jiu-jitsu.
Felipe Pena.
We just finished the wrestling class, so it's a very tough training, but I think it's very important, not only for me, but especially in Nogi, main events.
John Danaher. We're talking about wrestling here. Let's take a look.
If you look at footage of ADCC North American trials from, say, 7 years ago, 10 years ago, it looks like a different sport. Mm-hmm. Nowadays, people are coming out, engaging their legs, looking for reactions off that. The integration between jiu-jitsu and wrestling has improved dramatically, and it looks good for the future of the sport.
Mm-hmm.
I've always liked no-gi. Learning wrestling here really helped me to go to the next level in my no-gi grappling.
Craig Jones.
You know what I think, and I think even Danaher said this, I think the next big wave in jiu-jitsu will be driven from jiu-jitsu athletes with legitimate wrestling skills. Because what's going to happen is there's going to come an ADCC where a guy with legit wrestling skills is going to come along and destroy the competition. Not destroy him but submit him, but just expose a huge hole we will have in jiu-jitsu. And ADCC, the rule set allows wrestling to be exploited, but no one's quite done it yet. You know what I mean? And I think someone's gonna come along, kill everyone with wrestling. And the wrestling jiu-jitsu game is still being figured out, because there's that, what wrestling moves can we use safely that we won't get submitted doing? And I think that'll be the next big jump in jiu-jitsu.
Craig Jones.
If you train purely IBJJF, the way the rules work there and the way everything's structured, it guides towards a certain style of grappling. And that style of grappling, I think, is not good for MMA. That's a style of grappling where guys are going to just lay on their back and stay there for a long period of time, right? If you train for ADCC, I think in the context of those rules, they drive similar things to MMA. You don't want to end up on bottom. If you get on top, you got to hold the guy down. Whereas in IBJJF, if you get on top, the guy's going to just comfortably stay on the ground. ADCC guys are going to be more likely to try and stand back up. So in those set of rules, I think your grappling style transitions better to MMA. Because I think ADCC grappling's more like a fight than, say, what you think of when you think of the IBJJF style. And ADCC forces a lot of wrestling exchanges. So all of that stuff would be better for MMA.
Craig Jones.
Yeah, I think heel hooks were the meta game. I think a lot of people have already pointed out that they think wrestling is probably going to become the next meta, but I would probably be more specific. I think the next meta will be people playing wrestling style off of their butts, so that when they say they pull guard or something, they're not going to lay flat on their back and look for De La Hiva, reverse De La Hiva, maybe half guard or Z guard. They're probably going to be playing sit-up guard and really aggressively chasing arm drags and using their opponent's forward momentum to elevate.
Is Craig Jones talking about this?
Okay guys, I'm here today with Hudson Taylor. Hudson, in my opinion, is the best wrestler that I ever trained in my life. And he's transitioned wrestling to Jiu-Jitsu very, very well. Guys, this guy, he's 3 times All-American in Division 1. And he holds the top 5 best pin record in the entire history of college Division 1. And then I convinced him to start doing Jiu-Jitsu. He started training at Marcellus. Then 2 months later, he had never done Jiu-Jitsu before. He did the Pan Am's no-gi as a blue belt, and he won the double gold in the adult division. Then 6 months later, he did the World's Adult as a blue belt with gi, and he won his division. And then another 6 months later, he won the World's no-gi as a purple belt in the adult division. So very, very impressive.
As Bernardo said, I mean, I feel really comfortable coming up, wrestling up into my opponent, and so I started trying to play the butterfly guard and in here, but for whatever reason, I never felt as able to be attacking my opponent, and so where I landed was sort of this position here. So, and the reason why I really like this is 1, I can drive off of my back foot really easily, and 2, this leg can come like a windshield wiper, right?
No, and I can see already it's very hard to approach, I don't know from where I would start here to try to pass, and I know that you're going to go for the double leg, so where should I start,
Drive off of my back leg, I'm going to windshield wipe, come to this knee, and just try to drive into you. Or maybe that foot comes up, even better, right? Then I'm going ankle pick. The only thing that will ever happen to me here is if I'm not getting that right pressure, maybe you'll start to retract and move away, in which case I'm just coming up to my knees, and now I'm trying to really snap you down so that I get to a front headlock.
Oh, whoa, I noticed there's a lot of flow grappling videos here that I'm using. You're welcome. Flow grappling, you're welcome.
In no-gi, it seems like it's kind of imploding. That's why I say imploding. The game was out here. It's becoming more dense and smaller around leg locks and takedowns. And
leg locks and wrestling. We have a comment here, basically. Right. So it's catch wrestling?
It's become...
See, there's a lot to talk about when it comes to grappling and wrestling, and specifically catch wrestling. That's something that a lot of people don't understand. I'll be going through it, the history, everything like that, over the course of the next couple of months, and hopefully I'll have it keep going. Didos does some great stuff on this. There are a whole bunch of channels that do some great things, talking about the many different levels and exchanges that have really shaped jiu-jitsu as it is today. Catch wrestling is what folk wrestling and freestyle wrestling is based on. There's so much to go into, and there's a lot of catch wrestlers today. For instance, Harry Kimura. Harry Kimura.
Like that, Robert. What is that? Nice work. 30 seconds, set point. Out. Catch it. Catch it. Stop!
And a lot of great MMA fighters, as we know, are wrestlers. So I'm going to leave you with a little bit of John Danaher as he talks about some wrestling, you know, there's just so much video on this sort of thing. Arthur Fantastic, at Arthur Fantastic on Instagram, Twitter, whatever you like. I'm there at Arthur Fantastic. And this is Catch Digest. Subscribe, like, comment, and I will see you. Peace. See you later. Oh, and one of the things that I noticed here on the back of the shirt, on the World Champion, check this out. The 2018 World Championship weekend, Catch Wrestling. Look at the sponsors: Couture, Scientific Wrestling, CSW, Eric Paulson, Legit Snake Pit, Legit Pro Wrestling. Whoa, they're all involved.
I know you're a big fan of wrestling as well, and I've been meaning to ask you just about some wrestling, just because I think right now feels like a renaissance for wrestling in the United States as well. Would that be a fair statement?
Yeah, no, the American scene it's insane right now. It's crazy.
What do you think? I don't know. Do you have any insight or any idea of maybe what caused that? Because you had, I believe, 2017 they were the team champions, and then just last year they, Kyle Dake and David Taylor finally realized their full potential. Of course, Jordan Burroughs is still on the team. Of course, Kyle Snyder is still racking up gold medals. I mean, this is an extremely impressive.
Very, very, very impressive. I still think that Eastern European countries have a greater depth in wrestling. Like their number 10 guy is still better than our number 10 guy.
Gotcha.
And that's an important consideration because depth is very, very important when you're building infrastructure. But America hasn't had success like this in a long time. And in fact, this may be even unprecedented in terms of the international success that America's getting. I don't believe I'm the right person to ask as to why this is happening, because I think you would have to go to the Olympic training centers in Colorado and ask there. They'd have a much better idea of it. But it's undeniable that this is going on, and it's a thrilling time to be watching American wrestling right now.